This is a story about... That's a hard one.
This is the story about DOBBY, the good and the bad.
I was a hustler, like I really hustled getting my music to people. I used to go out on the bus every morning with like a box of my CDs.
This is the story of a peacemaker.
Musically, culturally, and as a man.
He's a political artist, but he's also a hip-hop artist, he's a drummer, he's a musician, you know, that's what he is.
And the Aria for the best world music album goes to DOBBY!
I'm a fighter in my blood, this is in my DNA. My ancestors speaking through me, I'm connected to this place. Like the river, I got Murrawarri flowing through my veins.
He's advocating for what sustains us all, not just as Murrawarri and Filipino, but as human beings.
You would sometimes be left feeling like I'm too this or I'm not enough this. Hip-hop never judged me for that. I could bring to it who I was, no matter how geeky, no matter how Aboriginal, no matter how white, no matter how Filipino, whatever I am. It was just my story.
DOBBY is on his way to Brewarrina in northwest New South Wales to see family and perform at the annual cultural festival.
The first thing I do when I get to Brewarrina is I come to the river and just say hello to Wawangu, the Barwon. You look at the river and it just kind of goes, all right, well, remember where you are, remember who you are. It gives me that peace. It's a tradition, you know. I learned that from Lil.
That's important to let our ancestors know. We're home. We love you, we respect you. Look after us while we're here. We bought fish off him last year. So Ryan Clapham, AKA DOBBY, that's my father's sister's grandson. So he's my cousin nephew. He's been coming to the festival now since 2015.
Ani Lily Shearer is one of the founders of the Baime's Ngunnhu Festival, now in its 10th year.
The Baime's Ngunnhu Festival celebrates the oldest human-made structure in the world, our fish traps.
Baime's Ngunnhu translates to the Creator's fish traps. These sacred structures stretch across the Barwon River at Brewarrina, and some date them at over 40,000 years old.
We're currently in flood at the moment. It's hard to tell, but throughout this way are all the fish traps, the Ngunnhu, what we call them, Baime's Ngunnhu. Yeah, you have to kind of use your imagination a bit because it's very flooded, so yeah.
It was seeing this area in extreme drought that inspired DOBBY's Aria award-winning album.
My album, Warunga River Story, has taken over 7 years to put together. And it was a lot of me putting my ear to the ground and listening to the people I needed to listen to. Just understanding, as someone who didn't grow up in Bree, what's important to the mob here.
Someone asked me, how do you feel about the river? I said, the river is in our veins.
It was a lot of field recordings, me going around recording birds. It's not my story, it's Brewarrina's story and the 3 million people that depend on these rivers in the Murray-Darling Basin. So even though there's massive flood now, we got to understand this as a fluctuation. It's something that's only going to get worse.
It's only a matter of time. I've been stressed.
We were seeing really catastrophic man-made droughts and fish kill on a mass scale.
That's a fact. That's a problem. Irrigators hide their face from the papers.
And it's all because of corporate greed.
Rivers taken. Look look at what we facing. All the fish are dead and the Murray down I'm facing.
It speaks to the listener who wants to fight for our country.
Temperature rise, live in a flood, suffer the fires, sick and tired, sick and tired, sick and tired. I feel like it's only a matter of time.
It's scary. It is spiritually scary. If you look at 50,000 years, my grandchildren are the 2000th generation of my people. And I think about their children and their children's children to come. What sort of world are we leaving them? Artists like Dobby are really important to advocate for Earth jurisprudence, giving Mother Earth a voice.
This album struck a chord, and Dobby found himself nominated at the most recent Aria Awards.
For any artist, getting an Aria is kind of like a nod that you're really part of the upper echelons of the industry.
And the Aria for
It's
the
really important for an Australian artist. It just broadens your platform.
DOBBY!
We were just fingers crossing so hard, and then he won. Both of us look at each other and we were just like,
Cries.
we just cried so much.
A rapper, drummer, composer and producer.
I'm just proud to know him, let alone be his father.
I'm really proud of how it's resonated with people. I think this album is another puzzle piece in the larger conversation as we reach 2030, where we are in terms of climate action and climate disaster. We should even be country music. Thanks, everybody.
But Dobby's path to success wasn't smooth. He grew up as Ryan Clapham in Warilla, a suburb of Wollongong on the New South Wales coast.
As a teenager in 2006, 2007, there was a lot of affiliated gang violence in the area. We're on our way to my mum's place here. She found this spot via Housing Commission, the place where I grew up. Hi, Mum.
Hi, how are you?
Oh my God. Good to see you. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, come in, come in.
Ah, very good.
He was just 3 years old or 4 years old. He has already a ukulele. When he started rapping, I could not stop him anymore. So I just said, good luck, my dear.
Okay, so this is my bedroom that I spent many years writing in and just stewing on certain things. My poster of Eminem and gym class heroes, Bliss and Esso, Busta Rhymes. Can you see that? So this is Kim's book, Kim Dalton. She was my Taekwondo instructor. She was the first person that called me Dobby. She gave me that nickname. She passed away in 2005, but she's the strongest person, that I know. She's a big part of my story, being able to fight, but not on the mats, like on the stage. What does a fighter look like?
My father was a member of the band in the Philippines. That's my ambition, to play the piano, but then I did not make it, so I asked Ryan to finish it, ambition.
When Dobby was just 7, his mum set her heart on buying this piano for him.
It's lay-by. I have to pay it every month. Even if we don't have money already for groceries, I have to pay the piano.
I really respect Mum's story. She migrated here in 1985 from Tacloban, bringing her 2 daughters here.
At that time, there were so many Filipino who were just being raped, dead. It was a bit hard. Some say, go home. Some say, I will just run you over. Little bit of tears, but I have to survive.
Dobby's dad, Ted Clapham, is a retired carpentry teacher. He's a Murrawarri man and the link to Dobby's Brewarrina ancestors.
And so you made heaps of the drumsticks for me out of the mulga wood.
Sure. The mulga, I got some earlier in the piece from out near the cemetery in Bree.
Okay.
Remember I was going out there with my the reciprocating saw. Like a lot of it was just a chisel by hand.
Yeah. My dad, he's an incredible man. His growth and his journey is really inspiring. I guess as I got older, I've understood him more.
And that's one that Mum got from Brewarrina years ago. My Indigenous bloodline is from my mother, from Brewarrina in the Western Districts, New South Wales. Mum, she was really in denial about her Aboriginality. She lived through the period where they were made ashamed of their culture. Over the years, me and my sisters, we've gone through this journey where we've realised and then started to really appreciate and become quite active in Aboriginal life.
I was about 5 when my parents split up. That was really tough for me. I tried to process it much later in my life. When I was a teenager, I started to sort of, what do I do with this information? Like, what does this make me?
And so began Dobby's long search for identity, straddling 2 cultures.
I had a different identity, and it applied to me being Filipino, and it applied to me being Aboriginal. I was trying to navigate where all of those different puzzle pieces of me sort of sit. Eventually, it kind of became hip-hop that was the unconditional home of expression for me. So this is my CD player. It's kind of like a time machine. And this here is a box of my CDs. And this one right here is like the first album I ever made. Get this right, it says, Ryan Clapham, Best Rap Artist 2006, Aria winner. And R to the D, Ryan to the Dobby. So it's Ryan, Dobby, Ryan. Wild. But yeah, this is the first album that I ever made.
Give me a boost.
I recorded it right here, like literally in this very spot. I did that when I was like 12 years old.
Boost up to the sky.
And I was just rapping about stuff that I cared about as a kid, just gravity and space, and it's a very cringeworthy song, but it's important, and it's important to me. Yeah.
I like clouds, they're really funny. I reckon clouds are so cute and so white and really fluffy.
It was at high school that Dobby's rapping really took off.
I just remember a kid who was obsessed with music. He just had natural charisma and he loved being in front of the audience. So any opportunity we could give him, we'd find one. This was a kid who, from even the youngest age, you could just tell that he was going to do something with music.
I just remember I wanted to be here all the time. Sometimes I'd stay in here for lunch. I would just keep playing the drums.
Dobby was just 14 when he wrote a song about Warilla called 2528.
And all of a sudden it was like 100 plays, 500 plays, then to like 12,000 plays. People had that song as their ringtone on their Sony Ericsson and Nokia phones.
He rapped about the tough side of this neighbourhood, troubled by violence and poverty.
I loved the poetry of putting together raps. Look at us, look at just how we are living. Almost all of us are living in the housing commission. And don't think that we're one bit proud that we're with them, knowing we don't own the laundry or the lounge or the kitchen.
The song got picked up by local radio.
My friend texted me right before school, what, no way? And I tune in, and then this reporter, she said, if you know this person, call in. This is like my big break. They're gonna be like, how great of a song it is, good job. Called them up and I said, hello, my name is Dobby. And she was like, you wrote this song? And I said, yes. And then she kind of just sort of excoriated me. Don't you think this is
perpetuating gang violence? And in a time when we're seeing a lot of stabbings in the Warilla area, how does your song contribute to this image?
Me being 13, 14, I didn't know how to articulate myself, and so I felt just unbelievably guilty.
Dobby was learning that his music had the power to provoke, and that writing about gangs could make him a target.
My friend and I, we had taken a bus from school Some teenagers said, "Hey, you Dobby?" "Yeah, that's me," like real proud. So I ordered my cheeseburger, I sat down with my friend and I was about to take a bite. And then all of a sudden I hear these like running footsteps at me. Bam! And this guy, King, hit me to the side of the head. And in that moment I realized, truthfully, the responsibility of what music can do, because here I am trying to find a voice and realizing that the things that I say, there's always going to be consequence. The radio didn't want me to be making music. These kids didn't want me to be making music. So I just thought, I'm gonna give it a break for now. I guess I should work on something like a backup plan. Like my parents always kind of said, go work on something that can actually get you a job. And at the time it wasn't rap.
So Dobby put his rapping dreams aside. He left Warilla to go to university in Sydney.
I went through UNSW and I did my bachelor's in music. And I was a teacher, I was a private tutor, all of the things that jazz musicians do, right?
He went on to become one of the first Indigenous Bachelor of Music graduates there. He was offered the chance to do his honours at the Ngunnhu Centre.
And I decided, well, I'm gonna use this to write about Indigenous rappers. It was one of the hardest things I've had to do. It was like my training, like my Dragon Ball Z, like Goku moment of like, well, I'm gonna study the greats so that I can be one of the greats. Okay, so this is my great-great-grandmother, Millie Parker.
Mother?
Yeah.
It was at this time that Dobby started having more conversations with his dad about his own Aboriginal ancestors.
This is old George Shearer.
Yep, my grandfather, your great-grandfather, he worked his whole life on one sheep station.
Each time the station was sold, he went along with it as
part
part of the property.
Which is a bit of an insult, but he was proud of it. He said,
Yeah.
when you buy Contemba and you buy George Shearer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And he's really grabbed hold of that appreciation of his Indigenous culture, and I'm so proud of where that's led him. Yeah.
And that's Granny? Knowing your Aboriginality,
yeah.
it's an important obligation if you choose to identify, like understanding the real implications of that lineage, that ancestry.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Country tells us when to camp and play and fish and swim.
So today we're here at my studio and we're going to do the vocals for Country Tells Us When, which is the 2025 Busking for Change song.
I had no idea.
Josh Pike developed Busking for Change to raise money for the Indigenous Literacy Foundation.
For the kids, when they're singing it, that should be as simple as possible. It should be that they're just singing the song, engaging with, a different language. You kind of get an insight into how kids live in communities, and it's...
Dobby and Justine Clark are both ambassadors for the foundation.
This year we're very, very stoked to have written the song with Dobby and Justine and myself, and we've got an incredible singer, Taya.
Wilmburu comes with the wind from the west, cooking up the Wangajau, we like 'em the best.
Schools around the country can register to learn the song and raise funds to help kids in remote communities.
It's such a visceral way to kind of get inside a community or, in a place by singing and with music and language.
I think about like what a song like this does, not just for the rest of these schools in Australia to learn Yawuru language, but what it means for Yawuru kids to then go back to their community to sing this proudly.
How do we know? Country tells us when.
Next year's Busking for Change song is taking shape in Brewarrina with the help of some local kids and musician Kelsey Iris.
Minion and then ngaba.
Naba.
Ngaba, that means water. Ngabenka means what's in the water.
Brewarrina, all this talent, what's in the water? It's a universal thing. We all love to sing, especially kids. And then if we're able to sing and learn language, then we're understanding our country better.
These kids have a story and you just don't know, it could just spark interest or inspire them and you don't know where that might take them.
Backflip, Bree's a good place to be, something like that. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Little songwriters here, you too.
Climb up the tree, cause I'm feeling so free. Minyan, ngabenka. And then backflip, breeze a good place to be. Clap with us. Minyan, ngabenka.
The town of Brewarrina is still dealing with its troubled past. Dobby wrote about it in his song 1770, his take on the colonial history of Australia.
Many slain on the Barwon, called it the killing times, Waterloo Creek Massacre, Mile Creek Massacre, Hospital Creek Massacre.
And he goes through the history of Brewarrina in particular and the cultural genocide that took place in this country.
Sent straight to the mission with family rations of tea, flour and sugar, had up to 1,000. Nambar, Barrenbinya, Murrawarri, Warilla, all held at the helm at the sound of the bell.
You know, there was massacres here. There's a mission here. Let's talk about that. What does that mean for intergenerational trauma?
Lloyd Boney's death in police custody sparked the riots in 1987. Bob Hawke announced the Royal Commission into Black Deaths in custody. Our time is now.
Back at the Baime's Ngunnhu festival, people are gathering from all over the region.
It's a tradition that's been continued for tens of thousands of years, you know. Brewarrina is a meeting place of 8 different tribes.
We know our borders go beyond the Shire. The journey that the Creator sends us on, Baime sends us on, it's serving our storytelling, it's preserving language, and I really wanted to shine a light on celebration for our community. Give the children and young people a different taste of things through the arts. It's about sharing our kinship.
We got a fishing spear, and so the old Goya, he'd be stuck on the end of it.
It's one of the most special places in my life. A lot of dark history, but a lot of strength as well, you know, a lot of community spirit. I'm really, really excited performing in front of that river. It has to feel correct.
Ryan Clapham, aka Dobby!
There's nothing that can quite compare to playing for your community.
Please make you feel welcome, Donald Shillingsworth. And you brought your boomerangs too, huh?
I definitely feel a weight of responsibility with my Aboriginality, but it is outweighed by my pride and my confidence in its power.
I am the lie, I am the truth, I am the quarter cast in the news, I am the treaty, I am the truth, I am the problem, I am the truth, I am the breach, I am the line, I'm the divide between the divine, I keep the spirit of rivers alive, you're thinking it's fine, but really it's...
There's so much that needs to be done and so much power that needs to be given back to our mob. And I feel like for me, music is the key. That's how I do it.
Dobby and his girlfriend Lola recently got engaged.
Lola is just this incredible person that brings me so much joy. So the way we met, I was performing a NAIDOC show at Carriage Works.
I heard that there was a lot of people just clapping and dancing, and then I saw like this size creature just jumping around the stage, and I was very impressed with his talent and with his energy, and so I decided to ask him for a selfie.
A few months later, they matched on a dating app and met up.
He was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a rapper, I go by the name Dobby, and I was like, I can't believe you don't remember me.
And then you showed me the photo and I was like, oh my God. I'm really looking forward to the future, personally and creatively, personally and professionally. Tell me what to do. I'm at a point currently where I want to be able to explore my Filipino roots, you know, and I'm talking to my mom a lot more about bringing Tagalog into my raps. I get it wrong a lot. Sometimes I'll write a rap and then she'll say, no, that's not correct. And I got to work on my pronunciation.
Dobby has a surprise for his family. The long-awaited Aria award has arrived.
Oh my God. finally got it.
Can we touch? Can we touch?
Oh my.
I thought it was empty.
Yeah, it's empty.
I thought it was empty.
Careful, it's very sharp.
Stab someone with that.
Okay.
Oh my god, it is heavy.
It's heavy.
That is so cool.
Isn't it
What's
sick?
inside
Wow, my goodness. That's
Well
it.
done, Ryan.
Now he's working on a new album, which is very different from Warrungal River Story.
This album is very inward, and it's me actually speaking to my younger self. I'm exploring my boundaries. I'm exploring my self-doubt. I'm exploring, my anxieties.
But of course, DOBBY is in his teens, not someone you would endorse. Don't know how to be free, so I'm about to pay the cost. I don't know which way I'm going anymore. Yeah, I'm lost. I got more time. I got more time.
The power of music, like how music can help assert your identity, is such an important thing. My Filipino-ness and Aboriginality, they go side by side, they go hand in hand.
That was a good take.
I feel like music is one of the last things that we have that speaks truth, especially hip-hop. Being able to move people, to dance, to cry, it's a spiritual connection.
I think the music industry needs diversity, and Dobby is a political artist, but he's also a world music artist, he's a hip-hop artist, and I think people like that inspire people.
We need to keep pushing for the stories that we're telling. Australia has incredible artists. They're not the artists that I see on TV. I hope I can, in some way or form, help to change that.